Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in Australia. Welcome to Finding North Network Perspective 2025, or welcome back if you were lucky enough to join us yesterday. So today is day 2 of our lived experience E-Symposium. And yesterday we had an absolutely amazing day, which I'll do a bit of a recap over in a moment. My name's Jess Kennedy, and I'll be your MC for today. And before I begin introducing myself, I just want to respectfully acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, who are the traditional owners of the land of which I'm speaking today, and pay my respect to their elders past, present, and emerging. So like I said, my name is Jess. And like I said yesterday, I'm sorry that my hair is not as pink as what it is in the picture, but I have managed to wear a pink shirt today, which I hope that makes up for it a little bit. But I've been doing MC work and public speaking and advocacy work for about 3 to 4 years. I was a public speaker for Beyond Blue and ambassador for them for 2 years. I currently work for myself and also for a not-for-profit organization that works in free community health. The work that I do for myself is around advocacy with the government to remove barriers to treatment and to chip away at that stigma that we know is the biggest barrier to people accessing services. The reason why I was so happy to take the gig for this particular E-Symposium was because, one, it's free for everybody to attend, but also it's all about lived experience. And by sharing our lived experience stories, we do slowly chip away at that stigma, because people feel more of an ease to speak about their issues, and whether it's they're speaking to a friend or they're happy to visit their GP, or if they're happy to visit one of the community mental health hubs like what I work at, they're in a position where they can turn around and go, hey, I need some help, and not feel like they're being judged about their feelings just because they're going through a rough time. And to me, that's one of the most important things that Australia needs to address. We all know that, well, we may not all know, but 1 in 4 people suffer from anxiety, and that's just touching the surface of mental health conditions. And if that 1 in 4 people, that equates to millions of Australians every single day walking around and suffering from a mental health condition that they perhaps are not getting any help for. There is a known statistic that 4 out of 10 people suffering from mental health won't go and seek the help that they need. And that's really concerning. And it's very concerning that people are going to work or unable to go to work because of these conditions. So by having events like what we're having yesterday and today, we do slowly chip away at that stigma, like I said, that allows people to feel okay about asking for help. I'd like to acknowledge the backstage people who you'll hear a bit more about later. So there's a group of backstage people who are keeping everything running today and keeping things move smoothly. They are doing a fantastic job and did a great job yesterday. So hopefully they do a great job today as well. But they're kicking things along in the background, and a lot of people have done a lot of work to make this E-Symposium possible. Before I go over a recap from yesterday, I just would love it if I could get you guys to test out a few things for me. So because we're not in person, with these speakers who are going to be speaking to you, it would be great to have you test out the reaction buttons that are on the bottom of your screen. So I'd love to see everyone just throw up some reactions, some love hearts, some, yep, beautiful. That's fantastic to see. What I want to see is that kind of stuff happening while people are doing their speeches, because that's the equivalent of having somebody in the audience right in front of you, giving you that type of reaction and saying you're doing a really good job. It really does encourage people while they're speaking. In addition to that, there is a chat where you can speak and put in your thoughts. But if you do have any questions, and I can't stress enough how important questions are, please pop your questions in the question and answer box, which is a couple of boxes along. So you've got chat, you've got react. You've got share, you've got resources, and then you've got Q&A. Any questions that you have for the speakers, please pop them in the Q&A box. We will do our absolute best to have every single question answered. If we don't, then there will be an email address that you can contact, which you'll see in the chat as it comes up, and will be provided as a resource. Finally, as a housekeeping point of view, these sessions are recorded. So if you do miss anything today, or you want to watch what happened yesterday, then by all means, you'll be able to get a link for that and be able to catch up on everything that was said yesterday. To give you a bit of an idea about what came up yesterday in our sessions, we had 7 separate speakers. We had Joanne Khan, who is coming back to us today, who did a keynote speech. We had Renee Buchanan, who spoke about being a lived experience leader. We had Lambrina, who is a peer support worker and spoke about perinatal mental health, which was incredible to listen to. We had Joe Fitch from regional WA, who spoke about access to health in the country, in the outer country area, which was very informative. We also had some keynote speakers from Graham and Honor, who spoke about their Big Feels Club, which is something I encourage everyone to have a look at. We spoke from Georgie, who's also from regional Queensland, and spoke about the importance of accessibility to peer support in the community. And finally, we heard from Brianna, who has grown up with ADHD and autism, and as a result, a whole heap of childhood trauma. So it really gave us a huge insight into some massive lived experience stories, and it's not easy to speak about your lived experience. So if we can show a bit of that celebration and clap some hands, and just say well done to everyone who did that work yesterday, because it was absolutely amazing to listen to.
The name Finding North was inspired by the North Star, also known as Polaris. For thousands of years, people have looked to the North Star to find their direction in the dark. It's a constant point of guidance in the night sky, helping travellers find their way when the path isn't clear. In the same way, Finding North exists to help people find their way through the mental health system, especially when things feel confusing, overwhelming, or uncertain. There are 3 key parts to Finding North. First, the Finding North website is a resource hub built by and for people with lived experience. It's full of real stories and information to help you navigate the mental health system and understand your rights. You can explore it anytime at findingnorth.org.au. Second, the Finding North Network is an exclusive online space for people with lived experience of mental health challenges who want to turn that experience into leadership. And we're not just talking about leadership in the traditional sense, but in everyday ways that create change, challenge stigma, or influence systems. The network also includes a dedicated space to post and discover relevant jobs, events, and opportunities in the mental health sector. If you have something to add to our job boards, you can contact the Finding North team, or if you're a member, you can post directly to the network yourself. And third, the Rights in Action project brings all of this together through a range of lived experience-led initiatives. This includes a national webinar series, the Perspectives Lived Experience E-Symposiums, a lived experience speakers program, and a self-advocacy training program which has been co-designed by people with lived experience. Explore what we have on offer and find your North today.
Thanks for watching. Explore more Perspectives 2025 on Finding North Network's YouTube channel. Find out more by visiting findingnorthnetwork.com.au or email info@findingnorthnetwork.com.au.